a level of early aggression by double tapping, getting your shield, and you force Starbound back by way of just pushing into them with hopefully a free life with the double tap shield from a level 8.
I 100% agree here. I'm really interested to see Wada's approach over on that A site, even though the action is leaning over towards B. I think that might be maybe a bit of a bait to have that noise being made by the Neon for Femboy, and then having maybe Starbound kind of like insert a little bit deeper before the rest of the other two kind of look to fall back. But already a lot of sound to be made over at B, and got the trip to give a little bit of information that there has been some mid presence on the side of FlyQuest, but instead of leaving the insert, they decide to fully pull back. You've got that drone re-clearing over into mid side, and Lace is now just contacting up on an A site. That's the mark.
Nice, good opening shot from Bob. Starbound out of the picture puts a lot of pressure on mid. Again, not having the ability to have a sentinel to put things like a spy cam, trap wire, or anything of the nature, it's going to force this defense to be very mobile. Especially now in a 5v4 where it looks like Bob is just going to lurk. Maybe even try to play up a little bit more delayed towards mid. No, instead, we'll just be a little bit late to the party. Pixel going to play the backside of the site. They do have one flash to play with off of Australis. Paranoia can also be spent, but here comes the offense. Pixel gets completely flushed out. And honestly, for Wada, this is going to be very difficult to do. But wow, Femboy with the shorty! What are we talking about with that movement? Gets the one taps out with the shorty, spike down. Bob has been seen in a round that looked like FlyQuest had done more than enough. Now you're just gonna see Neon slide, glide, and dominate you with the sawed-off shorty.
You know, that's a strong start for the side of Wada to try and continue on with the momentum that they've built up from Ascent. And for FlyQuest, on their map pick, you would have wanted to see a bit of a stronger start from them, but things got dicey, and I'm interested to see what the approach is going to be like. I feel like FlyQuest, they did so much work with pulling that rotation over towards mid as well for it to end in such a manner, but now looking to push anyone fully off that initial B main angle, sorry. As Lace continues to be this lurking presence over at A.
Well, double tap shields off. Defense going to lean a little bit over towards this B main setup. They know they've got a lot of stuck in the corner, start cover just to try to cause some distraction, and it will be enough to get a level out of danger. Fem peeking over towards elbow. Relay bolt's going to be exchanged. Lace pushing forward, but it is met by the judge. So, first blood once again tallied. Fast lane to get out of there, and Wada will hold their 5v4 advantage.
That shoulder there on Bob as well, forcing her off the angle. But the Spike actually still looks to regroup over towards this A site. You do have some searching individual moments over towards mid and B to see if they can maybe catch a rotation.
30 seconds left.
Well, after that first blood comes through, it just causes so many issues for FlyQuest to move around the map, and they're going to get into market, but the spike is not here, so we're looking for kills, and we're looking for a plant, it feels like. And they're going to get the plant, they're not going to get the kills, and Fem is letting them know about it.
Just a little extra cash in the pocket, you know? Sometimes it's all about different goalposts that you're looking for. It doesn't always have to be for that round win.
Pretty comfortable so far, and again, it's just 2 rounds, so let's not get ahead of ourselves, but still, it is one of those situations that, the neon shotgun combination is...
No one kills my crew.
It's a little ridiculous. I'll just say that. It's a little ridiculous.
What do you think? It's fun though. It's fun though too. I don't know. Some of my favorite rounds are just watching Jogamo run in as Neon with the shotgun, just getting up in people's faces. Like, it's good times. It's good times. It's following the chaos, I think, that we saw on Ascent. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, this is where things can start. It's just... You maybe hope. This is going to give us an intention of what exactly FlyQuest are going to try to do. Salvos of the one-way smoke will have Wada looking eagerly up aggressively at A with a triple stack. And then just the ability to rendezvous back for Starbound at mid if they need to. And yeah, they're just going to kind of stack and then eventually just kind of feel things out. The timing here is going to be everything if Bob decides to play forward.
Yeah, just looking to try and break this mid-trip. Right? It honestly gets even more than she bargained for. Taking Australis down, and there's the raise block out for the count as well.
Spike down B.
Trade over towards B, but it will allow a plant to come through. Fem is currently stuck. Power picks out.
Enemy remaining.
There's one. That's tough. But weapon collected. This would be a 1v4 for Fem. It's a free weapon to play with in the bonus, so you may as well. Reload rolled out. Off the reload. Isolates onto one. Checks in the corner. Gets a second. Neon doing Neon things.
Oh, and that's the overdrive.
Overdrive is out. Thea gonna try to teleport a little bit closer. Who sees who first? Defuse also required. Oh, and Thea is falling off. Gonna have to stick into the corner and wins the 1v1. Good stuff.
Well done for Thea to claw that round back, but Wada make that an expensive one on their bonus. And man, it's just a little bit of a movement dip there that you get the opportunity to have when you are running that Neon there for Fem. But overall, now we're looking at the fact that Whereas they do have the Armageddon online here for Ev to try and make some sort of play. I think what Wada are doing really well on defense is playing that push and pull with that mid-rounding as far as the information that they're able to find as well. That first pick already. Juna out for the counts here on the side of Wada. No smokes available here for the defense.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Oh my god, twins.
Duo energy.
Duo energy for real, for real?
Armageddon to clear the backside of the site. FlyQuest will gain entry. Starbound is just playing a little bit deeper. Kill contract trying to come through, but does not hit. Oh, geez, Starbound. Lovely may have had a look at it, but doesn't catch enough. Lace lurking. He's going to try to play on the deep side instead of playing through market. So as soon as this dark cover fades, that's where the issue's going to start to come through. And Fem has opened things up. Pixel gets the follow-up. This is maybe a little bit too far away for Lace. Lace has to go quicker than this. 3v2 situation. Exactly the case. She's got to go. Ev in the corner. Trying to get the one off the spike. Able to find the 1v1. But now it's on to timing. Starbound hits the shot. Plenty of time for the defuse. Wada 3-1 up.
Looking clinical once again here right now on Sunset. The ideas are there for FlyQuest. You see, you know, the searching for information over towards mid, trying to do, take the opportunities to break that trip that we see Starbound putting down very consistently over top mid there as well. And but I think that the mid-rounding is just been better on the side of Wada. They get a lot of information from the drone coming out from Power Pixel. That's consistently coming out to assist in the read and the rotations that we're seeing being called for the defenders.
Yeah, and that's the same things we were talking about in the pre-match setup, where the issues for FlyQuest have come in the mid-rounding. Power Pixel able to get one and then follow up the essentially trade their own life out. Fem just continues to break Neon. And it's to a point where it's like it makes you almost want to throw up later.
My God.
Quick round.
Like, it just looks so comfortable. I think the Neon pick is looking great for Wada, and with FlyQuest, their economy's been in such like an awkward position that Starbound has not even needed to invest in an operator a single time because the Outlaw's going to be able to do it with the 140 to the body. It hasn't been a necessity because they're consistently on either those regen shields or those light shields. And we are going to see a couple like heavy ones coming out here, of course, now for Bob and for Lace, but so much value being picked up, honestly, by these weapons here, just in the hands of three players on the side of Wada.
Could not agree more with you. Excel again. I mean, there's a level of, like, You look at Starbound hitting shots, you go, stop it, that's unfair. You get levels of Fem pushing forward, doing neon things with the shotgun, that's unfair. But at the same rate, like Australis has been solid, Pixel now a couple of different 1v2s, but that told, follow-up action from FlyQuest looking decent. Double tap still in play for a little while longer for a level lead, but it will fade off. And Australis not on for a null command will mean that this is going to be one of those, you got to win your first 1v1s. You get to read that Bob's playing in the backside of the site. Fragment up close and personal. Knife also to try to see if there's anyone up close. And there's no one home. So maybe a chance here for Australis. Yep, to flash themselves in. There's the play. Juda's been able to see the back of a heel. And Australis is going to wait. And they both find isolated picks. Oh! Australis gets the read on the Thea as well. And it's just Wada doing no wrong through the first 6 rounds.
It's just such a well-played retake between two players in a 2v3 situation. Australis telegraphing everything with her utility, and then Juna just has the opportunity for that quiet creep up. Nobody on FlyQuest was expecting the wrap to come around through elbow, and a portion of that also has to do with like the smokes that were laid down over towards A short as well, giving that opportunity for Juna to cross over for free. But first time out now to be called here by FlyQuest as they're down for 4.
Wow. It's just another one of those things that they can't do anything wrong. And I don't know.
I think it's tough. I think that right now, again, we see the ideas that are being called on the side of FlyQuest, right? It's been constant. Some of that mid pressure that we're expecting to come through, trying to break that trip very consistently. A little bit of a different look in that last round from FlyQuest as well, when we just saw kind of like a straight up A split trying to happen for them. But right now, there's been a lot of bite back on the side of Wada. A couple more pieces of utility that make it a bit easier for them to fight into FlyQuest as well, though, especially with the dichotomy of having that KO in here. And meanwhile, for FlyQuest, they don't have any real flashes. It's really only the paranoia, that near sight from Thea's Omen that you're going to be relying on to be any sort of kind of like responsive utility if you see Australis popping a flash around the corner or anything like that. And they do definitely have a bit of that edge up, I think, compositionally.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things too where we're just seeing so much more value from Fem on this shotgun neon compared to Bob right now. And null command is going to get popped. Wada not feeling the pressure towards B main. They get another elimination. So we're going to get a 4v3. Again, there's limited weaponry here for FlyQuest right off this timeout, so you don't expect too much. But the problem is going to be, like, what do you use to open up this site? Because to this point, like, Fem has, as you mentioned, beat the timings. When they get reactions to where the hit's coming from, we haven't seen value from the double tap as we were, at least I was expecting, or at least anticipating, in terms of trying to shut down Starbound or at least get a free entry to try to stop any aggression from Fem. And it just, this timeout better have been some sort of a big kumbaya, because the playbook for FlyQuest coming to this map has been shattered.
Bob, at the very least, finding some sort of advantage, but we've also seen this one before. Another 2v3 there for Wada.
Left. One enemy remaining.
Now it's all up to Starbound.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Oh, Thea's also just one to the outlaw here. And you've got a headhunter you can work with too. This timing, so good. And just a nail in the coffin, FlyQuest, they finally stop the bleeding. But now it's about actually getting to chain these rounds together for the attackers. We've been talking about the approaches that we've seen from this squad. And I think that a part of it too is there isn't as much setup utility either, you know, for either of the duelists. It really is a bit more self-serving there for Bob, and she was able to find those openers with the way that she's able to get so deep into that site. But you don't have that same kind of support because really Ev has a little bit of that space clearing to push Wada off those early peaks. Otherwise,
wow, that's big for Lovely to still get one, because they were dead to rights to that Armageddon. Great timing on the call out. from Pixel. Quick rotation back over to A. Tour de Force will be the only defensive mechanism in place for now, but look how quick Fem is going to get here. And you're going to have the ability to have both flashes for Australis. Overdrive could come through if they get a read. Starbound misses the first. Rendezvous away. Relay bolt. Fast lane just creates some space. And the spike will make its way onto A for FlyQuest.
I like this positioning here from Bob. Shoulder check. Of course, they're off the angle.
Fem shut down. F gets a second. Starbound. Aaron. Gonna find the first. Trying to catch a weapon. Back to the Headhunter. No ammunition to the Sheriff. Pixel gets another. 2v2 situation. This contact could be everything in Pixel. How big has Power Pixel been? Thinking now, last one left. And the Tour de Force gets the reset back into play. And Wada tested, stretched, bent, but will not break on this defensive hold at A.
No, FlyQuest, I mean, they are able to stop the bleeding with that second round that they got, but still unable to find any consecutive success in these rounds. Even in moments where we saw Ev being a shining light in that one, the response has been so good from Wada, looking a lot more comfortable on this map. Again, forcing up as much as they can here on the side of FlyQuest, looking to probably make the most out of the ultimates that we expect to see coming out from them to make that investment worthwhile.
Yeah, from the shadows, just trying to feel things out towards the backside of the site. Aim inside their cyber gate. We're getting out for the offense. Easily avoided. Fem, shotgun, doesn't matter. What a snap! Fem just continues to get away with this. Lays with the Guardian can only find one trade. And again, even though it's not a full purchase here for FlyQuest, it's just how the round has divided itself. It just causes all of this concern for future rounds, and FlyQuest are in some dire straits here.
Yeah. It was a full purchase. They forced up. Sure, they maybe had like a Stinger and another eco weapon in, but that was all the cash on the side of FlyQuest. They're really banking on that Armageddon, creating that space, but the cheeky angle for Fem to be holding there and to get 3 as well over towards Elbow, just clip it and ship it at that point. Like 16 and 6. We talked about how it was the Starbound show and the Australis show over on Ascent. And now it's like Fem all over the board right now.
16 through 10 rounds.
All missiles away.
And again, there have been 3 different rounds where Power Pixel has been great, and Starbound, now with the operator off the Tour de Force, is continuing to slip and connect. Yikes, Ash. This is not what I was expecting. I mean, again, at 8-13 on the opening map on Ascent, it was tight and close until we got to the second half. And since that point, it's just been the Wada show, and they are really, really impressing.
Oh, they are. Okay. Oh, hold on. I don't know about that. I liked how that started, Shift. Not so sure about the drive swing through the cage. A little bit questionable on that one. But now a contact up here over towards Elbow, right? Power Pixel watching the cross. A great opportunity with the insert here on site, but the spacing not quite there. At the very least, the trade does come through. And now, I think, again, so much responsibility is going to be on Thea with that, that lurk over towards mid.
Sound and information visually distributed. Kill contract comes out. Lovely's been able to upgrade into the Vandal. Oh, you just, you gotta have those. Teleporting back. Juna gets into the action and doesn't just stop the double tap kill contract 1v1. Gets back into the battlefield and takes care of the other. And just when you start to think, after Lace only gets 1 and drops, and it looks like the defense is holding, you nearly get a post plant, you get all the info you could possibly want, it just does not get over the finish line.
Tough looks here for FlyQuest. Hey, you got to keep in mind, this is their map pick as well, and things are looking dire right now. There is the overdrive available here for Bob. A bit of a shift in tempo with this push over towards market.
Oh, and Bob. Oh, no.
Oh,
The
that's a
suppression
great
that
knife.
comes through, but right click works out. Australia trying to isolate. Yep, and that'll work. They just spam down the corner after the fragment gets placed. Starbound now taking the attention back over towards the site. Double tap keeps the ISO alive a little while longer as the spike gets planted. Defensive ability to go into an overdrive of their own. No more tools, though, available for ults and really anything else for FlyQuest. They've got a contingency if they want it.
I'll pop flash through the window here as well.
The dark cover placement gives Thea an angle. Makes good on it. Lovely is also able to spam things through. And okay, things starting to come together now. Pixel last one left, trying to connect through the smoke. And find one. Would be blessed to catch another through the dark cover, but as it fades away, this is going to be one of those of just trying to make it as punishing as possible, but it's not going to happen. FlyQuest catch a third. And honestly, based on how this half has gone, if you were to tell me they were to end it 8-4, you would feel like, damn, like that's not bad considering how this half really has started to come together.
Hey, fair enough. But for FlyQuest, I mean, again, they have yet to consecutively get any rounds. They've all been kind of split up, and Wada has always been very quick to respond to a round loss with a very dominant win into the following one. You've got that Armageddon up here for Power Pixel as well on the side of Wada. See some pings even going out towards A main. Wonder if it'll be an immediate aggression, but a telegraph push here over towards the B site. The suppression does manage to land on at least 2, maybe even 3 of the players of FlyQuest too.
Yeah. Stealth drone into the site. Doesn't really do too much besides give the defense some pause about how far forward they wanted to play, but the cross angle for June is still very comfortable. Trademark is deleted. Fast lane to try to throw some consideration over to the direction of Wada. It does force out a flash from Australis, but outside of that, nothing much. Just extra shoulders from Fen with this judge.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing about it is with Pixel playing forward like this, you're still feeling decent about your ability just to kind of hang out and just play contact. Good Armageddon.
Oh my god, allowing Juna just to maintain that space as well. And that's been heard. Bob with the high gear. They're so scared of that judge.
Yep. And why wouldn't you be? Starbound has also said, here I am. Test me if you want to. Biggest thing, though, is Juna has rotated out of B main. And the spike is making its way through. Lurk from a Lovely not quite able to connect.
Oh.
And that's now enough. Wadada's going to know that with this tempo that they're rotating on, that they're going to have numbers advantage to try to contest this spike. Just comes down to, can they clear out the space they need to? FlyQuest are not backing up to main, not fully at least. Juna for one, Thea for the trade, follow-up though from Fem. And you know that there's a lurk on the way too. It just comes down to the timing of how FlyQuest play this post plant. You need to toggle the spike. You need someone to peek. Australis finds one towards market. Contingency avoided. Starbound still watching on an angle. Here comes the toggle. Who's going to check first? A Lovely avoids the first shot and will connect onto the head of Starbound. And it is an 8-4 half. Good news for FlyQuest considering how it went.
This becomes a lot more doable with that 4th round on the board here for FlyQuest. An important one for them to secure. And it was a really nice bait that we saw over towards that A site before that spike gets reshuffled over at B. And then that's where it all kind of starts, right? It seems like in that first half, it all came down to FlyQuest even getting that opportunity to get that plant down at times. Even though, granted, the retake did look very good for Wada as well. And now, this is where it gets interesting. I'm curious to see what kind of, like, pressure Femboy is going to be looking to put on FlyQuest's defense, because it was a very high-octane type of defensive style out of the side of Wada. They have a lot of utility with Australis on that KO to be able to try and help set up, even though that won't be the pairing that we see right away. Yeah, yeah, just Starbound things. And typical
Oh no, the stealth drone can get so much value. Bob can't run away. Now you've got mid control. Yes, you have a walk down from Ev. You're 5v3. Thea's gonna have to do something incredible. Here comes all the utility. Although counter flash is decent. Thea trying to get some separation. Not gonna happen. Ev will find one before the market door closes, but this is gonna be a tough 1v4 post plant. And yeah, Australis is just gonna keep delaying.
Yeah, steps
Spike
made.
planted.
Shots fired by Ev as well. Wada know exactly where they'll be coming from. You can even see just W keying over towards mid. Femboy is ready for like the reflank to come through, try and catch them off guard, but there is opportunity to take this 1v1 up against Australis.
Nope. I mean, took it, but lost it. So pistol goes the way of Wada. That makes things a little bit more dire for FlyQuest in terms of trying to make up this deficit. You know, winning a pistol and a follow-up, it just puts you down a couple, but now the gap is 5, likely 6. Decision has to be made here for FlyQuest as they're going to go Sheriffs with the Stinger. So it looks like they're going to try to see if they can battle this one off, but Starbound's going to have an Outlaw. You've got Rifles and a Judge still against no armors. It's just... It's not ideal, Ash. That's just what I keep coming back to. Just not ideal.
Yeah, it really isn't. I feel like we've just seen so much value coming out of that Teho utility from Power Pixel. Whether it's been the Stealth Drone or the salvos to come through here. Oh, this walk down here might be good. It's gonna be good for Starbound.
It just doesn't look over to their left. Nice opening from Lace. A second would be great.
Oh, the salvos too. Can't go anywhere.
Really, Pixel has really impressed me this map,
Yes.
with just their ability to play on their own and also just kind of help out the aggression with their utility. It's been really solid.
Oh, the Teho util has been honestly perfect.
Perfect.
Oh my god, is that my duo?
Wait, is that them?
One enemy remaining.
Yeah. It's gonna be double digits for Wada. And it's just so much has just gone, you know, untested. I think that's the biggest part of it.
Yeah, it's hard. I think that, again, FlyQuest, they have had the idea. You can see kind of like how the cogs are turning for the game plan that they want to approach these rounds with. Again, but it just hasn't been able to come through on that attacking side, and now onto defense. It was imperative that they were to be able to win out that pistol round, and for Wada to pick that up, and then their anti-eco as well. It just makes it an even tougher hill to climb. Right now, it's looking like it should be a 2-0 series with how clinically Wada have played on map 1 and now into Sunset on top of that, and that's the head-to-head between these two teams, right? This Wada squad has been one that the FlyQuest core has yet to be able to beat in the last couple of matches.
Yep. That's existed all throughout the 2025 year, and matters continue to get worse. And what is a bonus here for Wada? Starbound just continues to impress, legitimately. And there's maybe an attempt to try to find some cheeky timing here. Oh, mercy me! Just throw him overboard. Walk the plank.
Interesting. It is what it is at times. It really isn't too much to say. I mean, you could just feel it, okay? They wanted to qualify to playoffs. That's the one thing that is granted, though, right? Is this is a qualification matchup.
Yes.
Both these teams are 3-1. It's not like FlyQuest is going to be, you know, out of the running for the rest of the Swiss stage, right? But then it's also going to be about, okay, bouncing back after what might potentially be a tough loss. And I know that those watching at home right now are saying, okay, come on, like, it's 11-4. You know, the game's not done yet. But with the momentum, the confidence that Wada are playing with right now, it feels like they're just about ready to close this map out.
Can we, I don't know, can we get that last look in replay, like slow motion? Because, wow, that has to feel miserable. Like, I could act, like, just looking at how that went, like, I could feel what the mouse actions looked like trying to track Femboy right there. Just, like, drawing figure 8s on your mouse pad, just trying to lock it down. And then all of a sudden, this is a Vandal headshot. Like, what are you looking at? Like, ugh.
Yeah, that's the thing is like right now at 21-10, sure, pulling out the Vandal here on the attacking side, but you're running into a Neon who is putting out numbers with the Judge alone and just insane mechanics coming out from Femboy as well. It feels really oppressive when you're going up against a player that is playing so well, and it's not like the rest of Wada are doing poorly by any means. Like, yeah, number-wise, it looks like, okay, yeah, the Femboy is obviously providing like insane firepower to this team, but everyone on the side of Wada has been able to step up today. And for FlyQuest, it just hasn't been that same story. And these are players where we expect them to be able to bring that kind of firepower at times as well. For every member on this FlyQuest team to have those moments where they shine, and we are seeing a little bit of that from a Lovely and from Bob too, but the cohesiveness just hasn't been there.
No, it hasn't. And this is, I would say, like, again, like, reflecting on the Shopify matchup versus FlyQuest Red, it did look like there was a lot of issue in the mid-rounding. You know, it did feel like there was a pretty significant gap between the two squads. Didn't expect to see it still occur and maybe even look worse against this Wada team. And to be fair, like, Starbound is probably sitting at like 90% accuracy with sniper rifles. Ben is getting away with absolute murder. Australis was really solid in map 1. Power Pixel's playing great here in map 2. It's just like everything is clicking for Wada. You don't want to just sit there and say FlyQuest is playing poorly. Like, this is Wada playing unbelievably well. But there is still a level of, like, both maps. We're just not seeing the playbook come together. And I think in this map, the more concerning thing is the composition that they thought they cooked up and prepped for this matchup is also not finding any cohesion. So it's just like, it's not close. It's just not.
It really isn't. Now this fight, at the very least, looking pretty good. But you're also now into a 2v1 up against a Starbound. Not ready for Bob right across the corner, though. FlyQuest, they managed to stave off that match point at the very least. I will say, though, Shift, that I did see the vision on the attacking side. I think that they were putting a lot of responsibility on Ev to be able to kind of just use those salvos to push Starbound off of any close angles that they're expecting for those more like aggressive peaks on the extremities. But then once that doesn't work out, they didn't really have that much more to go for. Felt like we saw times where a Lovely was getting caught without having that double tap present, and then even just like not having flashes to flash them off those angles too. And Wada take great advantage of it.
Oh, this is painful. Bob suppressed, stuck in the corner, can't get away. Lace at least provides a 1-for-1 exchange. Through the force out. Armageddon close. Kill contract though at the ready will be called in. I don't believe. Oh, it did hit somebody. It hit Juna. Again, I think it's just, you have to have them. You have to win those. So now you've got a 4v3 situation in Ev, who's rotating over. May need to call this Armageddon as soon as you see contact from Lace, but Lace provides 3. Clean as all get out with the ADS. And now Australis trying to work their way in. It does have null command at the ready. Knife is out. There's the Armageddon that pushes them into Ev's waiting arms, and the Guardian double taps to get FlyQuest their 6th.
Great recovery facilitated by Lace, getting that early 3K for Ev to clean up the rest of the round with a great ultimate to come out and force them into that angle. But man, okay, now we finally see maybe some momentum being built on the side of FlyQuest, but you do also have that null command that Australis didn't manage to pop into the last round. Should be available if they do look to maybe have a lean over towards wherever they're expecting Lace to be playing here as well.
Well, I will say what I'm seeing that I'm liking right now for FlyQuest is their ability to continue to play on this A corner with either a one-way and then a follow-up from Ev in some regard. Stealth Drone and Salvo has been used early, though. Is there anything to try to give Femboy an opportunity to push through this? It's 2 judges on the corners.
I think
it looks like both will be happy just to kind of make sure there's no push through for now, as the rest of the effort for Wada's attack is focused in towards mid-market.
I mean, well, they're aware of the fact that there has to be that one, at least one player heavily presence pushed up over towards the enemy. That's why they're playing a bit further back. And that dry walkout from Bob just to get a little bit of that information doesn't feel worthwhile at all. These individualistic duels that FlyQuest are just giving away for free right now in mid are going to be the downfall and the opportunity for Wada to try and take that match point.
Now you've got Trapwire, Spy Cam, and Outlaw. How do you track down quick speed for them? I don't know if we needed the overdrive, but does it matter? It's going to be 12-6. And that's a moment right there that you can't fault anything besides just getting too antsy if you're FlyQuest Red. Like, If they're at mid, they're at mid. Like,
Spike
you still have good trap set up on the front of B. You have the one-way crossover towards A main locked in. Just trap them at mid. You know, trap them in the market if they approach it through market. Have good contact in the back of the B side to make sure they don't push through on the corner. Like, it's just too antsy right now for FlyQuest, and I think there's a level of them losing a little bit of confidence and composure in the face of a 23-12 after dealing with a 24-11 in the last map. It's just, yeah, it feels frustrated right now for FlyQuest.
I mean, you want to feel confident in the information that Thea is going to be relaying to you, right? You also always have like that mid camera, that mid market, and then B camera that's set up there from Lace too. It just little things where it feels like in that round, FlyQuest were kind of their own worst enemy. Again, just that walkout. We cannot, when we know that Starbound has money for the operator, we know that even if they don't, like, they're usually still watching towards mid and whatnot. We cannot just be dry peeking like that.
Yeah. So Fem, once again on the corner. Thea has the Bucky, and if Thea misses once, if Fem pushes on this corner, they're dead. Neural theft out, though. Okay, Lace, I was going to say, has kept some composure, but Pixel with the trade. Now you've got some good mid control once again. You wait for the neural theft. The one-way does get placed over towards A. Going to hold off that play, but doesn't matter when you're continuing to find 1v1s isolated across the map. And, yep, here we go. B again. It's going to have to be a Reddit-worthy clip here from a Lovely. Put it that way.
Go ahead. Stand your
So much of that responsibility going to be on a Lovely. And no opportunity to even try to creep into backside with the amount of util that gets thrown with salvos in the Armageddon.
Spike planted.
Stealing sight.
Yeah, I just don't know how you get into this if you're Thea.
You don't.
The weapon.
And all.
Last player standing.
Now later, they see the weapon swap, hear it, make a difference, and just as it started, it will also finish the same way. Femboy just dancing with FlyQuest.